Good morning. Yeah, Mark here. I wanted to do a quick video rundown from ICAST. Just a couple little things, maybe 10 minutes would be my take, but we'll go through a couple of the items, new product showcase, that sort of stuff. Yeah, very briefly, very poorly done, but at least it's something. Yeah, and then we do have a little bit of announcement that will be done a little later this week. A couple nice things that have come to us by way of Okuma, but we'll talk about that on another video coming up shortly, hopefully done this week. Anyway, off to ICAST in Florida, 2022. Well, ICAST show itself runs Wednesday through Friday. It's a short show, just 3 days. Usually there's 1 or 2 days of pre-events. We only get there on Tuesday. Have a nice dinner with the family. We travel as a family to this show. At least we have for the last few years. With Sergey, my oldest son, basically taking charge of the business. Putting me on a more of a part-time mode. I travel with my wife, who's the office manager here, and our youngest, Mike, who's 14 now, and is the official trash picker-upper here at the shop, as well as learning a few other little tasks. International show, which is pretty neat this year. First booth we're stopping by is Penn, and they had a couple of new pieces of interest. For us, primarily the new Fathoms. These are the new versions. Look a little shinier in silver instead of in the black. That lever you'll see is very, very big. Handles oversized. They did get smarter in one respect this year. The gear ratios do change based upon the model. In the past, all the Fathoms had a 2.5 to 1 low gear ratio, which is too fast on some and too slow on the others. Certainly for big fish, we want something slower. These guys on the larger sizes will go ahead and change the gear ratio around. There'll be single speed and 2-speed versions. That lever is really, really big. And a little bit plasticky. But it's oversized. You're not going to miss it. Handles a little bit longer, I think, in many of the models. The finish I thought was interesting. It is reminiscent of the old Saltists from Daiwa in 2005 that had a painted finish. We went on to Daiwa from there. You'll see that's their new 1200 size Tanacom that the kids playing with. Sergey picks up a few reels. They've got one low end spinner that he picks up a big piece, but just look at that handle. That one's not much to write home about. That is not typical Daiwa quality, but that's a whole different price point. These couple of reels they'll show next. I believe those are going to be the 2 new bait feeders, and they are sweet. Those guys are real nice. We were impressed with them. And of course, we'll bring those in. The big electric reel too, that new 1200, you'll see the motors in the spool. That's one difference. Those are being made in Thailand. And that is where I think most of these are going to wind up being made in terms of the Tanacom series going forward, given all the supply problems. Accurate didn't show anything really too new or amazing, but they did show a lot of reels, and they're all in a pretty silver. So no longer are they doing the 2 tones. This product I thought was pretty damn cool. You pick up this paper, and my God, that stuff, whatever the material is sticky and tacky. It makes you feel like you need to wash your hands, but there's nothing on your hands. It just provides a heck of a lot of grip. And then she shrinks down real nicely. They're making this, initially it was on freshwater type of product. They do have some saltwater sizes. We want to play around with it some. May bring that in after some testing. But it sure does provide a ton of grip. If you've got a deckhand style rod or another rod and it's a little slippery in your hands, this might be kind of a neat thing to put on it. It's a heat shrink material again. And is pretty fast. Again, we've got a few other things similar to that, but it would be more of I'm not going to say a rubber base, but you know what I mean, different type of material. This stuff is almost like a sandpaper, but my God, it was sticky. It really was sticky. It made your hands feel like I got something on here. But there's no residue, there's nothing from it. And if it ever, I guess, gets dirty and isn't as tacky as usual, they say just wash it off. So again, we'll do a little testing and mess around with it, but it seemed pretty cool. Very cool stuff. And they had it, in a number of different, colors and flavors and all that stuff. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's pretty damn cool. And easy to apply. At the show, about 12,000 to 14,000 people, I'd say. We certainly wanted to stop by and see what the Aussies were doing with Ocean's Legacy. We import these lures. At some point, they may have the ability of bringing stuff in and warehousing here in this country. Until then, it is kind of a pain in the butt to get it, but it's pretty cool stuff. A lot of these eye drop type deep water lures we've been seeing over the last few years from China, Japan. Spent some time at JYG and then back over at Temple Reef. Temple Reef brought lots of neat stuff with them. This inline rod was quite interesting, kind of like our sabiki sticks, where the line is going through the rod itself and then back out the tip top. They put a little metal piece on the end, like the sabiki sticks, and then they do a particular type of unique proprietary treatment to the inside of the blank. So it's not going to wear from the braid going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Again, these are anything from Temple Reef is going to be jigging oriented, jigging popping side of things. But very innovative rods. Definitely, again, something we want to put some time into and testing and see how they do. But from what we were told, doggone things are pretty tricky, and you will feel everything from them. As far as that fish on the other end of the line, pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. There's Sergey pulling on the thing. Their rods do pull well, and doggone skinny blanks. Then there are plenty of demonstrations at the show. The little bass tank or whatever. They'll show various lures, and you get a reaction out of them. Out of the fish, not the lures.
This size bait will catch a little bit of anything.
But even in the bass side of things, I started as a bass guy and then worked my way into saltwater. And a lot of those techniques that we do, we used on the freshwater bass, largemouth certainly did transfer over to the saltwater side.
This is deer hair.
They don't seem as willing on this as they did the food.
I saw one of these lures they were testing. Basically, the doggone thing would go backwards. Very cool. On the retrieve, the action you'd get out of it, a little twitch, and it looks like another bait going through a little spasmodic episode. It had been struck, and it's just it's struggling. Certainly elicited some response from the fish.
Well, that's the end of the booty checker.
And of course, there's my lovely wife and the youngest. Now there's Ocean's Legacy. They're going to be coming with pieces. That was a Daiwa piece. It was very nice. This is another hoop net, double the weight, maybe 25 pounds of whack. Those things are kind of a strange tail you put on a lure, of all things, and it makes the doggone lure swim differently, and actually gives it more of a swimming motion.
So available.
He's showing it off on a pretty interesting lure on its own
Kind
right.
of stabilizes the lure.
But there's no doubt it does make that thing swim differently. As far as does it aid in getting bit? I don't know, but look at the doggone thing on the left. It's definitely swimming better than just the bare hook. Looks more like the tail of a stinking fish. Again, will it get you bit or not? Time on the water will tell.
I'll use that.
And that lure reportedly dives to 118 feet. Again, conditions, but that's what they got out of it. It's from the same fella who made the Meg track, and then he licensed Meg Bay to do the marketing. And he's showing off that. Again, we use the magnet for the receiver. It's done a little bit differently. But look at the size of the bill on that doggone lure. Again, he's claiming he can get 118 feet of it, and that was at 4 knots in Norway, I guess where he's from.
Super easy.
Some interesting pieces. That lure, I had an interest in initially when I saw the metal prototype of it.
4
on the
loose
long
ones.
range side.
And
But
they will
noting
have
that a
dot,
DTX
red dot on
220
every second of
pulls
them.
about
So you
20 pounds of
rearrange
drag
them
just
in special
trolling
order.
the thing. Forget
Because
about having
these
a fish
are
on.
pulled
I asked him about
differently
this
every
piece.
second of them.
And
produce this
30 pounds
tremendous power
probably
that
of
they
drag
produce.
is what's going to
So
come
they
out of it
produce a
at
multiple,
say a 5 knot, 7 knot type of speed.
magnetic fields.
So it definitely is not something I want to drag on a long range boat right now. If you were going slower to the speeds, maybe it would have some interest. But it may be too much of a good thing. At least on the big boats. Now on a private boat, that could be a whole different story. And this is back in the new product showcase, showing off that lure. Giant bill on the thing. And again, the Mag-Track system. I guess that was that Ocean's Legacy. Some neat new assist hooks that we're seeing. Aftco, my God, Aftco's getting into everything. Here basically rod guides and that sort of stuff. There's a big old blinker. It's supposed to be a fishing tractor. I know, kind of a disco light. Again, those tails. I mentioned Okuma, my God, Okuma, the new Tesoro spinners. All these are going to be really, really nice. And now back to Aftco. Now, I liked the kill bags they came out with. That's a serious drain. I've got a reliable that I love. The only criticism would be maybe the drain plug. I lost that, but it's a standard size, it's a small fitting. This is bigger, meatier. It doesn't have a zipper on the bag, it just folds over. And then it has an insulated liner on the inside. Nice kill bags, I will say that. Very nice kill bags. But they had tackle storage at Aftco, some lures. I don't know. They'll be coming out with rods later. Mustad showing rods. That was kind of odd, I thought. Zac Attack, which was from Australia. There was an association with Peter Picula at one time. They split apart. Peter gave us signed our dollar bill when we opened up the store we had in San Diego for some years. But Zac Attack now will be handled by Momoy. That's going to help availability. We may dabble with that. And that's the show, folks. Work out.